Menstruation remains a taboo subject veiled in silence and stigma in many parts of the world. For millions of women and girls, particularly in low-income communities, this natural biological process is often accompanied by significant challenges that affect their health, education, and overall well-being. Before the implementation of menstrual hygiene management projects, many lacked access to basic sanitary products, clean water, and safe disposal methods. Schools were often not equipped with facilities that respected privacy and hygiene needs, leading to absenteeism among young girls during their periods. The lack of knowledge on menstruation perpetuated myths and misconceptions, further isolating those who menstruate. The use of unsafe materials such as rags or leaves in rural areas posed health risks and also contributed to feelings of shame and embarrassment. The stigma surrounding menstruation often led to social exclusion, thereby reinforcing gender inequalities. As a result, many girls dropped out of school or missed critical days of learning each month. This was because of the lack of awareness among families and communities about the importance of menstrual hygiene management. In Cameroon, there is inadequate knowledge of menstrual hygiene practices in schools. Poor maintenance of school sanitation facilities used by girls during menstruation and negative impact of the absence of waste management systems on living conditions have been identified as major challenges to proper menstrual hygiene management, especially in the northwest and southwest regions who have been hard hit by the ongoing crisis. Within the Sexual and Reproductive Health Rights Program, in collaboration with UN Women and eBASE Africa, CAGEAD implemented the project Improving Girls' Educational Attainment through proper menstrual hygiene management best practices in schools. The objective of the project was to increase knowledge on menstrual hygiene management best practices within the school milieu, increase access to menstrual hygiene management products, access to menstrual hygiene management friendly infrastructure, and advocate with policymakers and stakeholders to include menstrual hygiene management policies in school plans and budgets. This project was implemented in 10 schools in 2 divisions in the northwest region of Cameroon from September 2023 to May 2024. We began by administering 7,000 questionnaires, 700 per school, to select vulnerable students to receive the Dignity Kit. We distributed more than 5,000 Dignity Kits to vulnerable students selected through our vulnerability criteria. Then proceeded with our intervention under our 4 main pillars. Under the first pillar, which is increase knowledge, raise awareness and break taboos on menstruation, we noticed that students had limited knowledge and lacked information on the biology of menstruation and were also unable to calculate their cycles. CAGEAD designed a series of interventions to answer to these challenges by increasing the knowledge of teachers, students, and community members on proper menstrual hygiene management practices through the training of 20 teachers as focal points and club coordinators. 150 teachers through step-down trainings trained 50 student peer educators to assist the club coordinators. We have also created and run 10 MHM school clubs with 500 club members. Over 7,000 students have been sensitized on best menstrual hygiene management practices. We have had educational talks with over 80 community members, trained 25 local religious and traditional authorities, both men and women, on menstrual hygiene best practices, and have distributed IEC materials which comprise MHM manuals, posters, giant wheels, MHM games, menstrual cycles, pocket calendars to 10 schools and 2 communities.
I want to say thank you to this organization for their endeavors to make menstruation pain-free and less stigmatizing. As a girl, when I started menstruating, it was really hard for me to open up about it and maybe share it to other people, but with this gesture I feel more safe with my menstrual cycle.
Until CAGEAD came in, menstruation had always been some sort of burden, something that when you're on a period you feel like I can't go to school today. Aside from the shame, sometimes there are cramps, you don't know how to manage them, sometimes your period just surprises you in school and you need to go back home. So there's always been a tough situation.
Under the second pillar, which is increased access to menstrual products, it addressed the challenges that students faced as far as having access to menstrual hygiene management products is concerned. We intervened in several ways to answer to this. CAGEAD put together and distributed more than 8,000 dignity kits to 10 different schools on an average of 500 per school. The dignity kits consisted of reusable and disposable sanitary pads, pants, soap, omo, bleach, menstrual cycle circles, menstrual wheels, and pocket calendars. CAGEAD has also handed over cartons of reusable pads, pants, and analgesics for emergencies to these schools. We also deemed it necessary to equip these students with skills on producing reusable pads, where we trained 80 peer educators, 30 adolescent girls and young women from targeted communities, and 500 other students through step-down trainings.
Having this initiative of being able to create their own pads by themselves, it has gone a long way to improve their standards. The girl gets into a relationship because she needs money for pads and she can provide for herself such that she can use that pad by herself.
For me, where I've learned to make reusable sanitary pads, once it will go a long way to help them. We have been facing problems with female students and poor performance because they don't attend class all the time. Sometimes they come to school early and they leave.
It will go a long way to help us to solve some of the crises we have been having with our girl children in the school. The problem of stomach bites, rushing at home when lessons are going on, educate them how to use them as much as we can.
Thanks for the menstrual kits they have provided to us. That will enable us to stay back in school, study, and bring out good results.
Safe menstrual hygiene management infrastructure is the third pillar. For infrastructure, CAGEAD did an assessment of the quality of toilets that existed in intervention schools. From this assessment, we found out that many of the toilets were abandoned, dilapidated, had no running water, and no safe spaces. CAGEAD intervened by providing safe spaces for these students to manage their periods in school by rehabilitating and in some parts reconstructing 10 toilets in intervention schools and handing toilet maintenance kits. These toilets are equipped with water, wash hand basins, mirrors, toilet pots, telephone showers and bins, boards to place bags, and are well painted, designed with stickers, tiled, and ventilated. 10 incinerators were also dug in the 10 different schools for proper disposal.
Thanks to CAGEAD and the UN Women for renovating our school toilets.
We have a clean toilet, we have safe spaces where we can change, so there's really no need to rush back home. Even if you're surprised by your period, you can change, you can wash, everything is just available.
Beautiful the toilet was and the mirror, and I was so happy.
We arrange our toilet. So when I'm menstruating, I don't have to go back home to change. I just go to the toilet and change.
Thank you for reconstructing our toilet, which I no longer need to go back home when I'm menstruating. So I can now stay in school, study alongside the boys, and get better results.
Through advocacy for institutional frameworks, which is the fourth and last pillar, CAGEAD has been able to bring together different stakeholders from different ministries, international and national organizations, councils, civil society organizations working on sexual and reproductive health rights, traditional and religious leaders, school heads who can effect policies that support menstrual hygiene management in schools to commit to developing policies on menstrual hygiene management. Through this project, CAGEAD ensured inclusivity and brought in men and boys as partners in most of the project's activities. We have also carried out a comparative study to evaluate the project's impact. Bearing in mind the scope of work covered within the project, Improving Girls' educational attainment through proper menstrual hygiene management practices in schools, CAGEAD will continuously follow up stakeholders who committed to support and develop policies on menstrual hygiene management to concretize their commitment. We also intend to follow up the menstrual hygiene management clubs and safe spaces rehabilitated by paying a series of visits to the schools to motivate and assist in sustaining them. Menstrual hygiene management, which falls under the Sexual and Reproductive Health Right Program area, will allow us continue educating communities which were not part of the project on best menstrual hygiene management practices and also distribute more IEC materials where necessary.
I want to thank you so much for this gift. We are completely transformed to better improve on the performances of, especially of the girl students of GHS Dumbu.
We are profoundly thanking CAGEAD and the UN Women for the rehabilitation of the girls' toilet of this institution. Also thanking them sincerely for the menstrual equipments, materials that go a long way to give our female students.
We want to assure you that this space that have been provided is going to improve the education of the girl children.
With the assistance and the help of the school council and PTA, this toilet will be sustainable. And the studies in class will be affected because of menstrual hygiene problems. The performance of our girl students will improve.